What's up, guys? Chooch. Today we're going to be talking about the Extremebull Commander and talking about the high torque model and the high speed model and who's this wheel for. What's this wheel all about? Why would you want to get this wheel over any other wheel out there? And what dynamic of rider is this thing even for? And with the price point, who's going to be even buying this thing? So this is the 3600 watt hour Extremebull Commander. And now Extremebull is kind of like a sister company of Gotway, if you've been into this for a while. It's the new company called BGOAD now. And so BGOAD and Extremebull kind of work together. Extremebull produces some of the quality parts and some of the top tier components for BGOAD. And Extremebull kind of branched off and did their own little thing and made, they make a few different unicycles, not too many. And then they make the Extremebull, the little scooter that goes like 60 miles an hour with all the high quality parts and whatnot on it. So it's kind of an odd thing, and not a lot of people understand what exactly Extremebull is. Just look at it as the high performance BGOAD company is the way I look at it. So this wheel right here is quite expensive, but it's for a reason. Then it is for a very specific market out there. And the reason you would buy this wheel is simply to eliminate range anxiety as your primary reason. Another thing to mention is this tire is absolutely phenomenal. EUCO sent me this wheel with this tire put on it, and it is just, I'm going to talk about it coming up, but man, if I can find it, I'll link it below, but it handled the desert like a charm. There's no other tire I would have wanted. It literally rode like I had suspension almost on this wheel across the desert. It even went through the parts where it was a heavy sand. It went right over that. It rode great on the road, everywhere in between. It climbed up slick rock trails. This tire is the best tire I've ever ridden with. It literally is magical. Adventure rides. This is going to be going on full day trips out there where you might be going with a whole lot of people, and you like to be the one that goes off and cuts up on the ride, where you like hitting jumps on the side of the road. You like hitting stuff where you're accelerating hard, braking hard, and using just way more power than the rest of the crew out there on that ride. And I completely get it. That's how I like to ride snowboards. I'll literally go out in the woods, hit jumps off on the side, do a lot of different things than the typical people I'm riding with. They're in the middle of the slope. And if you translate that to unicycles, you'd just be using way more power along the way. So with this wheel right here, it's very well weighted. The center of gravity on it is perfectly set to where once you get on this wheel, you can literally ride it just like an RS-19. It's going to feel identical to it. Even being a wheel that has more weight to it, more watt hours in it, they designed this wheel to where it feels like a smaller wheel. Now this is hard to explain to somebody that has never been on a veteran Sherman, and this is hard to explain to somebody that's never been on like an RS-19, for example. But it literally makes a veteran Sherman, which is a huge heavy unicycle, probably one of the heaviest ones out there, and it just makes that wheel that felt kind of clunky in your corners and kind of top heavy. It just takes that whole design, puts 400 more watt hours of power in that wheel, which was already an extremely long range wheel. And on top of that, guys, it's all in a package that just feels right. It literally feels just like any other small wheel out there, but you can go 100 miles on it. And so that is the selling point of it. Yeah, it is an expensive wheel, but if you want to be able to just ride all day, not take your charger with you, not ever have to recharge, and not ever have to worry about recharging at all, this is the wheel to do it. Now, they make a high torque and a high speed model of this wheel. And that is one thing that people really question whenever they come into this hobby. They're like, well, what the hell? Like, what scenario would I want the other one in and what not? And I would feel the same way. If I came into this hobby right now with all these wheels up in the air, I'd be like, what is going on? I wouldn't know what to do. But essentially, this is the way I break it down. If you live somewhere in a city, like think about like Miami, think about New York, think about a city where it's typically not a lot of inclines, you're going to want to go for that high speed model. Now think with the high torque model, you're going to want to get that if you live somewhere where you have any type of off-road infrastructure at your hand. So any type of mountain bike trails, any type of, just dirt roads, anything like that, gravel pathways and inclines. So I'm thinking like, Washington, Seattle area up there, San Francisco, Rocky Mountains. Those are places you're going to want to have the high torque. And now think about like Los Angeles. That's a place where you really have to decide because you have everything there. If you're a rider that typically stays down in the basin area, doesn't go up towards Mount Baldy, doesn't head up towards any of the mountains out there, and you just stay in that basin area of LA for your city riding, then go with the high speed model. But if you like taking off up to the mountains, if you like hitting the trails up there, dirt paths up there, go with the high torque model. That's the best way I can explain it, and you'll definitely see why once you get it. There's not really too much more explaining I should do past that. The high torque, the only caveat is your top speed is limited to 40 miles an hour, and it seriously is limited to 40 miles an hour. You aren't going to be able to get on the high torque and just go, have that insane top end speed on it like you do with the high speed model. And now this can be a safety factor. If you can do away with having the torque and you don't necessarily need that torque, the high speed can be considered a safer model because you can pump that speed up higher before you have that cutoff. And that is a great thing, especially if you're a road rider that predominantly rides nothing but road. The high torque is going to be for the guys like me that are mainly on dirt, mainly on stuff like that where I'm more than 50% of the time I'm trying to ride trails and I'm trying to ride off-road. So with me, that's the thing I'm going to have the high torque for. And yes, I do hit the beeper even off-road sometimes, but still I'm having a ton of fun and the torque is used like it should be in the places it should be. And I love having the torque off-road, and whenever I get to that beeper, it's usually, I'm usually going too fast as it is. 40 miles an hour off-road, you're getting a little bit squirrely, and you're having a good time at that point. And just backing it off a little bit isn't a big deal. That's kind of the breakdown of the two. The wheel feels phenomenal. This tire feels phenomenal. If anybody knows the name of this tire, let me know and I'll link it below for you. I know it's sold out everywhere, and the guys that did have this tire out at Apple Valley Speedway absolutely loved it. They were all raving about it, and whenever I had it on that Commander that was sent from EUCO, I didn't realize it was a big deal having that tire. I took that tire out to Moab, Utah, rode this on the Slick Rock Trail out there where the Jeeps are climbing up the 45-degree inclines, and this thing literally gripped it like alien material. I'm not kidding you, dude. Like this tire gripped like it was like a claw holding on, getting me up these insane inclines. The guys out there in 40, 50,000 dollar Jeep setups and side by side setups were absolutely blown away, and I was having 10 times more fun than them. And all I had to do is ride back to the truck, throw it in the passenger, right there in between the front seat and the dashboard. And then the way I put the wheel in my car and keep it from moving around is I put the seat back a little bit, and then as soon as I put the wheel in between the front seat and the glove box, I just push the seat forward to the wheel where it's tensioned in there, and that's the only loading I got to do. That's the only loading up I have to do. The guys with the dune buggies have to, take it, go to a whole car wash, tie it all down, bring an extra trailer. Man, I had 3 wheels in the truck ready to go, and I could have gone on, without any gas, gone on 10 times more the mileage than any of them did in one day. So that was huge, just thinking about that, like how much fun I was having and how much money I was actually saving, because the old me would have wanted to buy one of those sand rails and buy one of those dune buggies, but I was completely content with just having the Extremebull high torque out there and just having a blast on that. But anyways, dudes, it's a great wheel. You can get it from EUCO, and definitely check them out. Link below, and I'll put the links down there for the other wheels as well. But definitely try to use EUCO if you can, and get this wheel from them from this video. Anyways, it's been Chooch. If y'all enjoyed the video, throw a thumbs up, and I will see you dudes in the next one.